Okay, I haven't punched the hole yet, but because I forgot to show you how to do the curve. So I'm using a swedge block, and I'm just simply going to the right size curve, bottom swedge, bottom tool, and using a cross beam, and you can tell pretty well how easy that is to do, and you can see the curve happening. It's real easy, and as odd as it seems, that curve right there is real easy to adjust after you warm it back up. You might can get a feel for what I'm doing. Okay. Just getting that proper, what I think is a proper curve. In it. Go too far, I can bring it back a little. Back bend is first, so I'm going to try to allow just a little bit of room there. I'm going to pull up here while tapping. As you go, do all your adjusting. If you need to, just go ahead and do it. If you can. Just anyway, work towards straight and true. That's the first bend, and it'll probably, there's going to be some adjustments, and this will have a curve in it, and then we're going to bend this one next. Let's see what happens. I'll try to do this in real time. If I have to leave the camera, go off camera, it'll be because I have to go to the anvil. But I just want you to kind of see where the heat is and how I'm holding it to the anvil. I'm just barely going to put any pressure right there, and then I'm going to pull down and kind of guide it as it comes down, but tap on it. Okay, now when it comes around and hits the vise, it's time to come out of the vise and go to the anvil. Okay, this is where it might take a little fiddling and a lot of heating and a lot of adjusting, because it's all adjustable. All has to be adjustable. So just bring that down. Okay, it's now you can see it's in the hole, but there's a bunch of crooked places that's got to be adjusted. But you can kind of see where we're going. Be watching where I hold the piece in the vise, and notice that I'm using a small ball peen hammer. Now, this is a large knife, so I can get away with using a little bit bigger ball peen. But on the small X-rays, I'm using a really tiny one. this one right here. Now the bigger one is what I'll use on the big knife, and the small one on the small knife. So let me put that away where I won't grab it. Again, watch where I put it in the vise. I'm actually grabbing it on the ricasso about where I've got my name stamped. And that's the value of a really good vise. I'm gonna take this monkey tool and just kind of push that down. And that hole is countersunk. So once I get it where I think I need it, as far as peened, it's not coming off. And I can do a little, while it's hot, I can do a little bit of adjusting. Here and there, as I need to. Now it's still crooked. I can do that now. I can fix all that now. Show you what I got done here. You saw it last whenever I just folded it over, and I told you I was going to peen the tenon here, and I did. I did that, but that required me to do a bunch of straightening. And what I mean by straightening is just truing it up, getting the shape right, and getting it lined out this way, and also getting it feeling right. So anytime you're making something like this, and it's obviously hot while you're working on it, you can't just grab it and test fit it. So it requires a little bit of waiting. So that's what I've been doing, is fiddling with it. I adjusted it a lot. Well, not so much right here. I had to drive that in to get my distance right. I mentioned that before. That's right at 1.25 inches maximum at the thinnest or skinniest place right here in the handle. It feels great. It feels really nice. The distance here is about what the distance from the cutting edge here. So that way the sheath will line up and make it look right in the sheath, as far as my opinion is concerned. Getting everything to feeling right, it required me to do a little bit of filing. There was a bump. It had to do with me upsetting the tenon, the standoff down here, and it created a little bit of a ditch. Well, I just simply filed on both sides because I had lots of thickness, extra thickness. I don't mean way too much, but I had enough that it's very, very strong. This is probably the strongest knife you'll ever try to use. I went ahead and, as I showed earlier, I rounded this. I just took those wings and folded them in, and I made it look like what you'd consider a standard knife. I went ahead though and I right here at this bend and this bend, I went ahead and forged it in on itself a little bit and just kind of kept working it to where it almost feels like a conventional knife. There's no sharpness. I can't just pulling my hand, dragging it off. I got a good grip on that. There's a good purchase. But what I mean is there's no sharpness to it. I went ahead and went around it with a file and just did a bunch of little cleanup and smoothing and just truing up. And I did all that before I went back and thermocycled the whole knife. And as I thermocycled, I made sure that there wasn't any, when it cooled, it didn't try to pull or warp or anything like that. If it did, I would straighten it. A lot of times you can put it in the vise while it's medium red and just pinch, and it'll straighten it right out. And if there's any twist, you always try to get that out. Anyway, this is where I am. I am now ready to grind the bevels and refine that clip just a little bit. And I'm going to leave a little flat all along the edge for the quench, because I don't want to risk cracking or wrinkling or anything like that. This is still a standard. It's still going to be quenched the way you would any standard knife. I will probably put some clay around this area here and maybe along the spine, because this is W2. We'll see what happens. This is the first time I've used W2 for this type of knife, or at least one that I'm willing to share. I did a little testing, that's why I went with this one. But let's see, let me mention this. The blade's 10 inches, I said that before, and overall it's 15.5. And if you just drew this on a sheet of paper, traced it, it wouldn't be that much different than your conventional knife. It really feels nice in the hand. It really feels good. There's plenty of room, but it's not cramped and it's not too much. Not too much. And the balance point is just in front of the guard. When I take off some for the bevels and polish it, hand sand it, whatever I'm gonna do, that'll just move it back toward the guard just a tiny bit. The balance point, that is. It's gonna be really nice. Alrighty. I appreciate y'all sitting through all this. It's a real project. If you have any questions, let me know. You can write in the comments, or you can email me or message me on Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Lynn_Ray_knife maker.